This video has tons of Christmas crafts inspiration for you. Let's get started.
I am heading into my messy garage to see if I can find any boxes that I can turn into beautiful craft. Let's see what I can do. We're going to start with this piece of cardboard I cut off of one of the boxes, and I am just going to create a Christmas tree shape. And I'm just going to use my ruler here, and I'm going to make several lines triangle shaped. And then I'm going to use this brand new blade knife that I gotta say, I am loving. It's in my Amazon store, so it is linked down below if you want to take a look at it. But it is so sharp. I love the angle. It's really comfortable. All right, so as you can see, I'm just making some lines and using my ruler and my pencil. Then I'm going to use the blade knife to just cut it. And then I'm going to use the first tree to trace a second tree and cut it just the same. Keep in mind that you can do any tree shape you want. This is just one I thought would be really easy and quick to do to keep it simple, but you can certainly use any tree shape you want. I am now going to mark the center of the bottom, and I'm just going to cut from the top to bottom, splitting one of the trees in half. Now we have 3 pieces. I'm going to cover these 3 pieces using this paper craft that I got recently at Hobby Lobby. It's green with polka dots, and I just thought it was beautiful. I'm just going to hot glue it, but you can certainly use spray adhesive. You can use Mod Podge, whatever you'd like. But hot glue actually worked for me on this one. I'm going to cover the front as well as the back of each tree. Once I had them cut, I am going to then hot glue the half pieces to the sides of the large tree. This is going to create a 3D tree and look like almost like the tree is sliced in between, but it's not, it's just hot glued. Now I'm just going to take some Waverly chalk paint in the white, and I'm just going to lighten up some of those edges because you can still see some of the box. No big deal, I actually like it, but adding the white paint just really adds it a little bit more of a bright color. I love this tree. I put it first because it is absolutely my favorite. It's so easy to make. Anyone can do it. For the next Christmas hack, I am going to take this bowl and I'm going to trace 2 of them on this large piece of cardboard. Then I'm going to make kind of like a rectangle. We're just going to make some oversized, large, round ornaments. I'm going to use my blade knife again to cut each piece. Once I have the first cut, I am going to use that one as a guide to help me cut the second one, at least the top part, so that way both ornaments have a pretty similar shape and size. And once again, I'm going to go in this craft paper book that I recently got at Hobby Lobby. Beautiful designs, and I'm going to grab 2 of them that kind of really complement each other, but they're not the same. I'm going to Mod Podge this one right onto each piece. I'm just going to brush it on, and then just make sure that I'm brushing until the Mod Podge feels almost sticky, and then I'm going to place the paper. And then once I have it attached, I'm just going to cut off the edge and the excess using the blade knife, and I'm going to do the same thing to the second one. Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing. I am now going to use my sanding block, and I'm just going to lightly sand the edges going downward. This is just going to give me a smoother edge and transition into the cardboard very nicely. I'm going to take some tin foil, and I'm just going to hot glue the top to mimic that metal portion of the ornaments. Now be very careful when you're hot gluing because the tin foil does get really hot, so just make sure you're very, very careful. So I'm just going to wrap it all the way around and then hot glue it in the back to secure it, and do the same thing to the second one so they both look similar. I do want to antique these ornaments so that they match the design of the paper. So I'm going to use some Waverly antiquing wax and a makeup sponge to sort of antique the edges of the ornament as well as the tin foil. That way it has a little bit more of an antique look versus that bright silver. You can also dab and wipe as you need, especially in the tin foil if you add too much. I'm now going to use these wooden letters that I found at Hobby Lobby recently. They spell Merry Christmas, and I just thought that would be really cool for this set. I am going to hot glue them in place, and that way they're not going to go anywhere. And then I'm going to hot glue both pieces together kind of at an angle because I want them to hang on the wall very nicely. I'm now going to take this Merry Christmas ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut a piece that is going to be large enough so that both ornaments can hang nicely. Hot glue was plenty sufficient because these are pretty light actually. I'm going to add some embellishments, some greenery here. This is some faux greenery that I've gotten from Amazon and some I believe from Dollar Tree. And then I'm just going to keep hot gluing some with berries, and then I'm going to add a pine cone right in the center so to add more texture and color, and then one more frosted berry to the bottom just to finish it off. This one is stunning. I love the way this turned out. You can definitely make them like a lot more and then have them separated. Beautiful. Neck is frozen, catch me rolling, I'm the chosen, snow is falling. Before I show you the next Christmas hack, I just want to show you the blade knife. This is when I first opened it up, but look at the angle that it has on the handle. I just really love and how comfortable it is and how sharp it is. So again, it is linked down below if you want to check it out. All right, so I'm going to cut off another piece of this cardboard, and I'm just going to cut off just a piece, just working with what I have. If you're going to recreate something like this, just keep in mind that you can use whatever size you want. I'm going to cut 3 triangles to look like Christmas trees. One's going to be larger, and the other 2 are going to be smaller, similar in size, but all different. Now I'm going to take these little popsicle sticks that I had on hand from when I did like cake pops, I think. And I'm just going to hot glue them to each back of each tree, leaving 1 inch of stick at the bottom. Now I'm going to use some hot glue in this very fluffy yarn that I got very kind of long time ago at Hobby Lobby, and I still had it on hand, and I just thought it would be perfect. But you can use yarn from the Dollar Tree. You can use whatever you have on hand. You don't even have to use white. You can use whatever color you want. I'm just going to wrap each tree all the way up, hot gluing at the bottom as well as the top. And then I'm going to work my way back down just to cover any areas where you can still see the cardboard, but it also adds more texture and more fluffiness. My friends, I would love to connect with you on Instagram and Facebook. I have both links down below in the description box. Go check them out. And once you're there, don't forget to say hi to me. All right, so I'm just going to hot glue the last piece here to the back of the tree. No big deal, just a little bit of hot glue does the work. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other 2. I'm not going to show you, but they are going to be covered just like this. Now I'm going to take this little sign from Dollar Tree. They have larger ones, and this is one of the ones that are smaller. I'm also going to take a dusting mop from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to hot glue it to the top of the sign. And I'm just going to wrap it around with hot glue. This is going to give me the feeling of like a snow-covered ground so that we can place these trees on. Once I had it in place, I'm just going to drill 3 holes so that we can then hot glue each tree to the base. I'm going to do the larger one in the center and then the 2 smaller ones in the sides, but towards the front. Once I had them in place, I'm just going to add some greenery. This greenery is from Dollar Tree, and I got to tell you, they have really stepped up the game with their greenery for this Christmas season. I am loving them. I'm just going to separate a lot of the branches from it. I'm just going to start hot gluing them here and there towards the front of the trees because everything is so white. I want these greenery to really be full and just lush, and I just want to add as many as I can and not make it look too crowded. Once I had the greenery where I wanted, I am going to add a poinsettia that I got at Dollar Tree. This is one of their larger ones that they have, and I think it's stunning. I love the contrast of the white and the red and the green. It's so traditional for Christmas. One of my favorites from today. For the next Christmas hack, I'm going to take a little piece of paper. It's going to be 2 inches by 2 inches. I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to cut it on an angle from corner to corner. I'm going to keep the side that is folded and open it up into a triangle. Then I'm going to take a piece of cardboard and I'm going to trace the triangle right as you see me doing. And then I'm going to place a little dot right where the fold was. Now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to trace a line from the top of the triangle all the way down past that little dot. Then I'm going to take the triangle piece of paper and I'm going to just trace another one to each side. We're going to create a star. Recently, I was on Pinterest and I found this tutorial on how to make this 3D star. And I thought, I have to try that. Now, the one they made was very large. This one's going to be a lot smaller. So here we are now tracing 5 of these triangles. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to trace lines from each corner of each triangle to the opposite corner that you see me doing here. Once I haven't traced, I'm going to take the blade knife and I'm just going to cut off the star first. That's the first step. Once I had the star cut out, now I'm going to score each line in the center. What I might score is I am going to use a blade knife, but I'm not going to cut all the way through. I'm just going to cut the top portion of the cardboard. And I'm going to do that to every line inside this star. This is going to give it a 3D look once we start to bend it. So we are going to bend the star going in and out, as you can see. And you're going to keep doing that until you have the star as you want it. Once I had it where I want it, I'm going to give it 1.5 coats of Waverly chalk paint in the white. And the paint actually, once it dries, it makes it just kind of stay stiff. It worked really well. Now I'm going to take the antiquing wax and I'm going to antique it pretty heavily. You're going to see here that I add quite a bit more than what I wanted to, because then I'm going to dry brush more white paint to tone everything down but still have that beautiful distressed look. And then once I have it where I want it, I'm just going to let it fully dry. Let me tell you, this star is so pretty. Wait until you see the reveal. Before we do that, I am going to add some greenery. Just again, some picks from Dollar Tree, ones with the little red berries, and then a tiny little pine cone to finish it off. Now, this is going to be an ornament, so I am going to add some of this baker's twine to the back. I'm just going to tie it in a knot and then hot glue it to the top portion of the star. And that's it for this one. I love this one. It's so hard to choose. I know the first one was my favorite and it still is, but this is a very close second. I love the way it turned out. But let me know what you think. Do you think this is something that you can try? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know. And also just let me know which one is your favorite. Now, I'm going to have another playlist here, or not a playlist, a video here. Make sure you watch this one. It has tons of inspiration for you. Have a blessed day. Have fun creating, and I'll see you later. Bye.